right, that's the best I could do, you know, with my little camera. Other people have zoom lens, you know, capabilities, all kinds of special stuff, and it looks really good when you get the Hard Rock Cafe as the opening scene. We'll get her from the other angle. Right. I love the pink. Just the pink lights all lit up. I can't believe how busy it is at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, Orlando, skip in, or what have you. Skip winter in Orlando. Peace, 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 peace. Oh, it's Princess. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Shanti. It's Kung Princess. I don't know all the names. Here's the hers. It's actually white, green, and red. On the camera, it looks blue. The green looks blue on camera. And I kept thinking the ads were blue and white, but they're actually green and white. So thank you again. Someone bought the book, Duplicity and Duress, Snap Factories in the Making. I can tell, like, when money comes in, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, what a surprise. Because I had money from previous sales a long time ago that were just sitting there, because you have to have at least $10 in the balance in order for money to be released from Book Baby. And it's like, you're kidding, like how many, like how long, like 2 years? If it sits there, can't they just release it? But the threshold is actually $10. So anyway, there was like, wound up with like 1541 in there to be able to release. So now I got a little $15 paycheck that I'm super excited about, you know, paying rent and everything. So I'm just happy that that's cleared up, because money's been sitting there for so long, even though it was, you know, just a small amount. But going for two, you know, Sprite and Coke, all that, you know. Double coverage, going for two. SpongeBob SquarePants. So a car made a left there. It's very rare to turn here, but there's hardly any traffic, so people will probably be more apt to turn on off of Market Street. Technically, there aren't a lot of options to turn. I can't remember if that's a turn lane or not, but anyway, if there's a turn lane at that particular light or not. Usually there's not, you know, because Market's one of these streets where you have to sort of go down another street just to go in the opposite direction and turn somewhere else. Anyway, wow, 6 o'clock in the morning, hopping. It's kind of busy. Like, it wasn't that much busier last night, so I'm kind of surprised. I have on my leggings today because I saw that it was 44 degrees, and I thought that's, you know, mild enough. I've been wearing snow pants a lot when it's super cold. So PGW is smell us, tell us with the gas. But I sometimes wonder if it's offensive to people who are out here, because a little funk can develop when you have, you know, homeless population and or drugs or whatever, and, you know. So people heading off to Jefferson for work. Lots of nurses and everything. Right, how crazy. I was seeing that woman yawn there with the earphones, and you know, going into work with scrubs on, and someone in front of her with scrubs. My mom and aunt passed away in Florida in a hospital there, North Florida Regional, And I did wonder about some of the practices there, but that woman made me think of people who might yawn a lot to try to put people to sleep, like as if they could do it almost like witchcrafty or voodoo-ishy. And that's what came up for some reason. And I've wondered, because technically my mom, dad, and aunt passed away during the pandemic. So it was a little odd. And my dad actually wound up with coronavirus. Can you believe that? I think he was set up. I actually think it can be put on. We'll talk about symptoms later and rapid tests at an airport that are inaccurate, but you could start to panic, and then your shortness of breath. Like, you can bring it on with your mind, you know what I mean? So it was too weird that he and his second wife actually traveled over Thanksgiving on an airplane, which they never flew. And for some reason, I think her son coerced them to fly during Thanksgiving over the pandemic. So he came back and I see it as a setup. So we'll just leave it at that. And the powers that be can create all kinds of scenarios for certain people if they have a show or a narrative going. And it's not, I don't know what to say. Callcut Craft, the legacy and practice of collage. And they have fish on there. So that's good to know. But anyway, so my dad had a very specific stay in Manatee Memorial Hospital in Bradenton, Florida. I have no idea what the conditions were like, or if he thought, that's weird. I wonder if he went through a thing like, something's off or whatever. But I know at North Florida Regional, things occurred that were really questionable, and also select physical therapy rehab, because they kept trying to put my mom, like twice they tried to put her there to see if she could rehabilitate her muscles and go back, and to, go back home and everything. But every time she was at select rehab for physical therapy, something weird happened and they sent her back to the hospital. So she had to keep going through the ER. She was in the ER like 4 times. It was ridiculous. 3 or 4. I feel like there's another. We'll go with 3, even though I'm thinking 4. There was the initial from home to the hospital. Then after like 10 days, they sent her to select physical therapy. And then she had an episode or something there, so they sent her back. Then they returned her to select physical therapy, and she had another episode, and I happened to be there because it was like stroke-ish. Then they sent her back through ER again, so that's the 3rd ER visit, and then brought her home. So I guess it was 3 ER visits, but ER visits are not fun. Lots of people coming off the Frankfurt L this morning at 6 a.m., 6:15-ish or so. So hot happening here this morning before the Super Bowl. So right, it dawned on me, like, some people might come out to show